In a world of rumors and reckless talk, one woman stands for truth. She doesn't speculate, she cross-examines. The courtroom is her kingdom, and justice wears heels.
Order in the court, let the facts be seen. Melissa Jade on the mic, call her crime scene queen. She don't do drama, she don't do lies. Every case get clean when she analyze. Cross that line, she'll object real quick. Logic so tight, it cut like a brick. Beautiful mind with a presence so loud. When she speaks, you can feel the whole room bow. Room bow, room bow.
She studies every angle, every word, every lie. And when she speaks, it's not emotion, it's evidence.
No hearsay, just receipts on the table. She don't need fiction, truth's her label. Courtroom lights, blow her heels, click steady. Whole jury leaning like, man, we ready. They talk nonsense, she calls it out clear. Confident, strong, you can feel that in the air. She got the law locked and the facts in sway. Another case closed the Melissa J. way.
They came with theories, she came with proof. They had opinions, she had the truth. They had the theories, she came with proof. They had opinions, she had the truth.
Beauty don't fade when the brain got bite. She shine like a verdict red late at night. Smart, bold, blow loud and still so graceful. Every sentence sharp and tasteful.
Some say justice is blind, but when Melissa Jade steps in, justice sees clearly.
Yeah, she walked through lies like a gavel crack. Truth in her voice, ain't no turning back. Debunking myths with a lawyer's flair. She don't chase clout, she builds it there. Applause in the chat, they know her name. Melissa Jade, she don't play games. Beautiful, brilliant, truth unafraid. Bow to the queen of facts, Melissa Jade.
The verdict is in, and the truth has a name. Melissa Jade. Melissa Jade.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Jessica. Thank you for 14 months. Love this community. Missed y'all. We've missed you too. Hey, hey, Tess. Happy Thursday. Everybody but Laura, for sure. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Sheebs, Rhonda, Soulful Shona. Grateful to be here with you all on this Thursday. Big love to all of you, no matter where you are, all the way from England. That is amazing. Thank you. Hi, Dis Mom. I know. I scheduled for yesterday. I was trying to get on yesterday, but I don't know if any of you guys were one of the many affected with Verizon's outage. My phone went out in the morning, and when I woke up at 3 a.m, it was still down, and I had to do like the master reset for it to even get back up and running. So it was constantly going in and out, and I couldn't get on last night. I apologize. So I ended up just pushing it to today. Hi, 1967, Ricky. Oh, positive vibes all the way, Jess. You're recovering from surgery. I hope you're okay. Hey, it's Kristen Lee with your hat. How's everyone doing? I have missed you all, and I am so excited to be doing part 2 to Laura's declaration. And this is her exhibit. So we're going to be honing in and focusing specifically on the exhibits tonight. We did part 1 on Members Only Monday, and here we are for part 2. Oh, good for you, girl. Hell yeah, Jess. Hi. Okay. Let me say this correctly, because I have recently learned that I have been saying Jodito Millie when the name is Jody to Millie. So one of the many names I tend to pronounce wrong. You will always be Jotito to me, but I have recently learned it is Jody to Millie. So welcome. I'm happy you made it too. I could honestly, I need to do a poll one day just to see how much percentage of the chat names do I get wrong. Uh, they all become a blur, especially since they've changed it to the ats, like not just even the username, the ats. It's really messes with me. I appreciate it. I feel like I've got it now, right? It's Kirsten Lee. I feel like I got it now. Hi, Boots. You get me, right? I'm just Boots. Yeah, yours is easy. I like Jodito. Honestly, I don't know what's more embarrassing, like saying it wrong or me not registering. It's probably not Jodito, like what kind of name is Jodito? But I don't know which one. Probably the latter. Hi, Chris Jenner. Hi, West Coast Mesh Fighter. See, I'm going to slow down and I'm going to really try to pay attention. I am so late. I'm Michelle from California. Most call me West Coast. So glad I made it alive. I am new, but on the replay crew replay crew. Well, welcome in. Welcome in. We're happy to have you here. Hey, some golf girl. Did you realize the Upper Live Monday night proved Laura perjured herself? Ooh, in what way? Because she perjures herself a lot. But let me just sidebar for a second. And I'm going to say this like as respectfully as I can. Hold on. Like, let me think. How do I say this? Respectfully. And this isn't towards 99% of you. Okay. I have experienced this really from the beginning of my channel's existence. I am a creator who tends to fall deep down one rabbit hole at a time. There are some times where I will do some like, oh, breaking, this is headlines, coming out of the gate. Here's this, here are these updates. Absolutely. Sometimes I'll do that. But I really, truly don't tend to bounce around a lot. Even though I follow true crime, I do not gain interest in just anything. And I have to be interested in order for me to want to discuss it, want to cover it, want to peel back every piece to that onion. When I do find something that I'm interested in, I need to know everything about it. I have always been like this, whether it's Letitia Stauch, Wade Wilson with the Wade Wives, Idaho, Quentin Simon. I have always been kind of one at a time. I will go deep. I will uncover every single possible thing because I will need to know everything about it. I'm not a surface level kind of gal. Like, I'm not like, oh shit, that's crazy. On to the next. No, I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. I need to know everything. Now, with that being said, we're not always going to agree on what's interesting. Okay. So surface level may work for other people. I totally understand that. They're like, I can't take any more of this one person. Get it. I used to get comments all of the time with Letitia Stauch saying like, just move on. I used to get comments all of the time with Wade Wilson, just move on. All of the time with Idaho, just move on. I get it. What I don't get, I'm here to do me. This is Melissa Jade's channel. I'm only going to cover what I'm interested in. Okay. I don't expect anyone else to be interested because I'm interested. I don't expect anyone to just stick around. You may have absolutely loved going deep when I was covering Letitia Stauch and not so much with Laura. Totally fine. Totally understandable. What I don't understand is people who feel the need, and listen, comment if you want to comment. But what I'm saying is it doesn't go anywhere with me. When you leave a comment basically saying I need to change my content to personally please you, that is what I don't understand. I am not obligated to cover the top headlines. I am not obligated to only do 3 episodes per case I want to cover. I'm like, listen, I have a little over 20,000 subscribers. I just do me. I do what I'm interested in. I'm not claiming to be an advocate over here. I'm not claiming I could make freaking change. I'm just another person who has an interest in it, and I like discussing it, whether it's true crime, the psychology behind these absolutely crazy criminals. conspiracies, whatever it may be. I just want to discuss it. Why, if I worked around each individual person's preference, I would never be able to do anything. One person absolutely loves the deep dives. One person doesn't love the deep dives. One person's obsessed with Letitia. The other person's not obsessed with Letitia. One person loves the whole Wade Wilson topics. Another person cannot stand the Wade Wilson. If the expectation was on me to bend around what every single follower of mine wants to listen to, it's impossible. So with that being said, leaving a comment saying I'm borderline becoming obsessed or stalking while going through things that are court documents or anything that's discovery material as we head into trial, and saying that I need to focus elsewhere, you're wrong. I don't. Just because you're not interested in the deep dives doesn't mean that I shouldn't deep dive. Instead of expecting me, one creator, to bend around your personal preference, how about, and if you like my channel, great. But if you're not interested in what I'm covering, no problem. YouTube is mass. It's a vast place. Huge, insane amount of creators are out there covering pretty much every possible thing you could imagine you'd want covered. Go and find them. Like if you're not into the content I'm covering, I respect it. I understand it. But to put the expectation on me that I have to change it because you want to hear my view on different things, then you got to wait until I get to those different things. Because I've been consistent as far as deep dives. That's just what I do. And some people look at it as, well, your channel becomes all about it. Are you a Letitia Stout channel? At the time, yeah. Are you a Wade Wilson channel? At the time, yeah. Are you an Idaho channel? At the time, yeah. You want to call me a Laura Owens channel? I'm a Laura Owens channel currently. That's that. So I just need to say that because I don't, again, you could leave the comments, but it really falls upon deaf ears. Because no, I'm not going to change my coverage around every single person's personal preference. Go out, find your own stuff. But if you're going to say, I need to use my platform to gain traction for other things, I urge each and every one of you to create your own damn channels. There's no difference. You can't put that on anybody else. You need to bring coverage. You need to bring this to. Now, you can. If there's something else you want to discuss or something else you think needs traction or attention, strike up a live. You have a channel too. Go and do it. So that's all I have to say about that. All right. I don't mind requesting topics, but I got a pretty long comment, which it's always from the people who say they've been watching for a long time, yet I don't know if they know. We can see how many times they've interacted on the channel, and this is your first and only comment on my channel, which, hey, there are silent watchers out there. I won't say that there aren't, but this is the first and only comment you've ever made on my channel. And it's like, oh, I'm so disappointed in you. I'm losing respect in you. All right. All right. I don't know what to say. I'm just kind of hanging out with friends here, going down this rabbit hole. That's what I'm doing. I'm no better. I'm not no bigger because I'm a creator. I'm just hanging out, discussing this case. It's as simple as that. Thank you, Harper's Nana. Me too, MJ. I love your deep dives and need to know it all and then some. That's just how I work. And honestly, and it sounds horrible, but I just don't always click with every case. I don't always find an interest, and I don't know which cases, what am I attracted to? I don't know. I just get an attraction to a case. And then when I get an attraction to it, I want to know everything about it. That's just how I am. But I totally understand. Some people are like, oh my God, enough. I can't. Totally get it. But that's not how I am, So I want to be fully prepared when I go to trial, and I don't want to be lost. I want to know every reference they make, every piece of evidence they're trying to submit. I want to know the context behind it. And even if I tried to force myself to cover other topics, if I'm not interested in it, it's going to be a really crappy coverage because I'm just not You could hear the excitement in my voice when I'm uncovering Laura stuff. I had that same excitement with Letitia, like, because it's fascinating to me. If I don't feel that energy, it's going to be really boring, you know? There you go, Boots. But thank you so much, Harper's Nana. Yeah, thank you, Amber Nola. We're all different. Like I said, I totally understand, and I've been through it before. That's my whole point. Back when I was doing Quentin, it wasn't for everyone. It was way too heavy. Totally understand. Come back, with the next topic. Letitia. People love Tisha. People got sick of Tisha. Move on to Idaho. People loved Idaho. People didn't like Idaho. Move on. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been here, always heard it. You kind of just have to wait until I move on to something else. I will. I always do. But I'm going to basically uncover every piece I can of knowledge, and then I'll move on. Hi, JS. Okay. So enough of that. Our missing child for tonight's live stream is Abriel Adams. Abriel has been missing since December 15th, 2025, out of Mobile, Alabama. She is 13 years old. So if you or anyone you know has information on Abriel's whereabouts, please contact the Mobile Police Department at 251-208-7211. Yes, like Callie, Letitia, and I'm about to do a comparison live of Letitia Stout and Laura. That's just something everyone's going to have to accept. I will always default back to Tisha. That is always a case I will continue to cover and cover, go back over. And yeah, we never ended up getting to Dr. Dorothy Lewis for the rewatch of her trial, but we absolutely will. Because I'll never lose interest in that. No matter how many times I go over it, I'll never lose interest because there's always something new. And it's only when you go down those, I guess it's also because I'm not really always doing it to cover the case itself versus I like the psychology and a behavioral study behind them. And the only way you really, really understand or come close to understanding like the mind frame that person was in is going through all of the little details. Kind of like what they're doing with Gypsy Rose now too. I'm interested in the Gypsy stuff. I've covered the Gypsy stuff. But you uncover every little piece and every little detail. And now look what's happening with the Gypsy stuff. Horrific, disturbing details are coming out, and everything you thought you knew about that case isn't the case. And I love that. I love getting behind those details. Oh, that's amazing. I didn't see that, but good for her. Liars fascinate me, Callie. And Laura is the only one who has kind of come in the same range as Letitia. I never saw someone come close to Tisha, and I wouldn't say that they're identical. They're not identical. They're different, but the extent of their lies are similar, except Tisha was just not anywhere near as educated as Laura was or is. A casita in the hood? I love that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we're going to do a Letitia Laura comparison live because I feel like we need to bring those two worlds together. She does, West Coast. She does. Okay. Are you guys ready to go through the declaration exhibits of Laura Owens? I am. And your site proved it reading her declaration. I know she hit herself watching your show knowing she lied earlier. Oh God, well, she lied about so much, but what did we figure out? Which part? It's been 3 days, so I can't possibly remember. I didn't get an email. Well, you know what? Hold on. It's spiraling, whatever. You know what I mean? It's doing the spiral. I'll let you know if I get that email. Kirsten Lee also has a Patreon membership to gift out At any point, she may ask you guys a trivia question in the chat. And if you are not already a Patreon member and you want to guess the answer and you're the winner, she'll gift you out that Patreon membership. She's hiding her assets, in my opinion. That's what I've heard, Aaron. Laura filed an affidavit in the Echard family case saying the $450,000 was her money in her account. Monday at the creditors meeting, she said that was never her money. Perjury. Happy birthday! Oh no, sir. Be ready for her to hit you tonight because she busted her this week. Bow. Go wow wow. I'm ready for it, honestly.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
No.
Yes.
No, sir. I mean, John, no.
Oh, but that just not in her declaration that we just read? Yes. Okay. Jody to Millie, Jodito. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Hey, Bruce. Hey, Teresa. Hi, Cosmic Crafts. New subscriber here. First live with you. Welcome on in. I love your avatar. It's my favorite Tisha moment, dude. Sure, Kirsten. Go for it. Kirsten's going to ask a trivia question in the chat. If you aren't already a Patreon member, and I say that because if you already have a Patreon membership, it won't even let you accept the gift. But if you are not already a Patreon member, Kirsten's going to ask a trivia question. First person to get it right will receive that Patreon membership. Yeah, Tess, I need to do that. I do need to do that. And we need to do Bohemian. Enjoy the ride. You can look up corporations and partnerships online and see who the members and partners are. Hi, Delaney. I like that name. Yes, but apparently, Callie, and someone correct me if I'm understanding this wrong. I heard, maybe it was someone in this chat, I heard that she said she wasn't sure how her name got on there, like as a owner or something. Like her mom must have put her on there without her knowledge. Ready guys? What is the national animal of Scotland? Here is your trivia question. Go. I don't know the answer, so we're going to have to rely on Kirsten to tell us. You know what? Maybe I can look this up. What is the national animal of Scotland? What? Hold on. Oh, shit. JS coming in immediately on my end with unicorn. Kris Jenner right underneath her. How can a unicorn be? Sorry, I have questions. Thank you, Lisa. Here's the, oh no, we didn't ever figure it out. Here's the Venmo struggles, my favorite channel and favorite host. Thank you. You're so sweet, so kind. Thank you. Hey, Harlot, how can it be a unicorn if it's not a real animal? JS is the first one on my end all the way up here. So JS, you don't have a Patreon membership? If not, you can email me. Let me do my email. And I will give you, that is hilarious. It's Kirsten Lee. I will give you the Patreon link for the gifted membership. Here it is. Here's my email. Hey, Silver Turtle Lady. Yeah, JS. And if for some reason it looks different on your guys' end, you have to like hit live chat again and it reorganizes it. Because when a lot of people comment at once, it can come in disorganized. Hold on. Callie, you're fucking right. JS. Oh my God. Is your name pronounced Justified? Then Kris Jenner gets it. JS says, I already have one. So number two on my end is Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner, email me if you do not have the Patreon membership, and you will be the Patreon recipient. But is your freaking name pronounced Justified? First Jodito, now Justified. Are you serious? It makes sense once I saw Callie's comment. Oh my God, I've been calling you JS13 from the beginning. Honestly, I'd just rather not know. Just let me keep calling you guys what I call you. We just need to accept it. Congrats, Chris. Just here's my email. Nightbot dropped it above. It's melissajade1220@gmail.com. And you will have a free Patreon membership. All right, I'm good. I'm glad I'm not the only one, harlot. I'll drop it again, Chris. Hold on. Nightbot drops it. Whenever I do the command, you'll see Nightbot will always drop the links. Hi, Salty Veruca. Congratulations, Chris. Here it is. It's right on the screen. melissajade1220@gmail.com. It is endearing how you mispronounce names, so keep doing it. I'm surprised I haven't mispronounced yours, Callie. Imagine, actually, it's Collie. I read Tomatoic as Tomatoic until they said her name was because they didn't like tomatoes. I was calling Jody to Millie Jodito Millie this whole time. So she'll always be Jodito. Always. But Justified makes sense. But unfortunately, it's been too long of me calling you JS. So that's just how it is now. Okay. You're just going to have to accept it. Mine's pronounced Aaron. I love Key and Peele. I love it. I thought it just meant to fuck up in other words until I asked. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? If you haven't yet, please take a second, hit that thumbs up. Thank you all for being here. Now let's go through Laura's exhibits. We have 25 pages, I guess 24 since that's just the label. Exhibit 1. All right. You know what? I may have to, hold on. I'm going to have to pull up a second tab because I want to be able to reference back to what she said was each exhibit. So 1 second. Michael Maricini. Okay. Okay, so exhibit 1. So it says, I met Mr. Maricini in March 2016 through the League app, a dating app for professionals that matches people together based on their LinkedIn and Facebook profiles. His profile said that he was in real estate development and that he went to California Polytechnic Institute. See Exhibit 1, screenshots of Mr. Maricini's profile from the League taken April 2016 and May 10th, 2017. He asked me out to dinner, and I accepted. No, surviving out loud. You're perfect, actually. Exhibit 1, we're just started. Okay. So this is screenshots. It shows April 26, 2016 at 1:52 p.m. It is very pixelated and blurred because it never goes through as color. You see Michael's, I guess, League dating app photos, and it says Michael, 28, real estate development, California Polytechnic State University, Cali Poly, location Dunvilla, California. Info, if you're a fan of brunch, I'm a fan of you. Okay, I see you. So then this says, Exhibit 1, screenshots of Mr. Maricini's profile from the League taken, okay, page 1 of 2. So here's the second one taken May 10th, 2017 at 12:32 p.m. And it shows up Laura's in it. Oh shit. Hold on. That is Laura. I noticed that smile. That is Laura, is it not? Michael, Laura. This looks like what's that? What was that conspiracy? Weird talking head guy right there. That's what that looks like. I do. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I do find it a little bit strange if you are using like a picture of you and your ex to post on like the League or like any dating app, like Tinder, things like that. But that's just me. Maybe not everyone feels that way. Max Headroom. That's what it is. Thank you, Tess. Yeah, it looks a little Max Headroom-ish. Okay, so it says Michael M, 29, Russian Hill, 6 foot 4 inches. Again, if you're a fan of brunch, I'm a fan of you. Instagram, Mike Maricini. Educación, California State University, Sacramento. So then we have Exhibit 2. Let me find what Exhibit 2 was. Where is it? Her declaration was long. Okay. About 6 hours into their flight to Iceland, Michael went to the bathroom. I stayed in my seat and was crying. A passenger in the row in front of me, slipped me a note, a true and correct photocopy of which is attached here too as Exhibit 2, which said, and then here, let's read it. Oh, bullshit. Really? Wow, airlines. This is the napkin. Okay, well, what does it say? I'll tell you what it says. Dear girlfriend, I know the Lord had me overhear your conversation to let you know you are very beautiful. You're a very beautiful young woman that should have a man that makes you cry with wonderful laughter, not bullying you. You, honey, are being verbally abused, and he will never love you like you deserve. I'm very concerned about you, and I am praying for you. Run from him and get help and protection. He doesn't care what you think or say or do. He is a very sick man, and it will make you sick if you stay with him. Please take this to heart and get help fast. At Karen Ndagafle. Hey, Mallory. Okay. I wish we had a much clearer copy of this. I need a handwriting comparison, but I know that people who have been following it say that she is a person. Look at that. Wow, Airlines. I didn't know even the cocktail napkins were embroidered, like stamped with the logo. It's a long. So is it 2 cocktail napkins? Because if so, why? Or maybe only one side. It was a double-sided. Okay. Exhibit 3. Let's say. In mid-February 2017, while we were having sex, Mr. Maricini was on top of me. He put his left hand on my arm to hold me down. He squeezed so hard that I had a bruise for several days, which I took photos of a day or 2 later. See Exhibit 3, photos of my bruised arm taken on February 18, 2017. Then he used his right hand to strangle me. I could barely breathe. When I started gasping for air, he shoved 2 fingers down my throat, which caused me to gag. When I did this, he said, "Good girl, good girl." I felt panicked and didn't understand what he was doing. I was crying. I kept thinking that I didn't want to do anything to upset him as he did this, since I didn't want to push him over the edge. After he stopped having sex with me, I asked him, "Why you put your fingers down my throat?" And I told him I did not like. He brushed it off and ignored me. Okay. Oh, did you really, Delaney? Thank you. Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey. And she very much is being careful with her word choice. When he had sex with me, making the implication that it was not consensual. Really? Are all of the exhibits are going to be like this. Okay. I for sure see a bruised arm. Clearly. What about you guys? Do you see that? She took this on February 18th, 2017. Okay. Well, I don't know why I expected better quality, but here we are. I guess we're not going to be able to see the pictures. All right, Exhibit 4. Sometime in February 2017, I noticed tiny red spots around my eyes after Mr. Maricini strangled me, which I now know is called petechial hemorrhage. This became common, and I took photos on a couple of occasions. See Exhibit 4, photo of redness around my right eye and cheek taken in March 2017, and Exhibit 5, photo of redness around my eyes and cheeks taken May of 2017. Sometimes my eyes were also bloodshot, and I had dark circles around my eye sockets. At one point, my mom confronted me about the red spots and asked, how did I get them? I told her Michael was strangling me during sex and that I believe the tiny spots were a result of strangulation. I just really want to know how that conversation went, like with mom. Like, because she makes it very nonchalant. The same way that, we went to dinner with Laura and her family and we all had a conversation about how I thought abortion was the best way to go and things like that. Like, honey, how'd you get your red dots under your eyes? You know what, Mom? I think it was because of the strangulation that Mike has been doing during sex. I don't know. It's just weird. Not saying you can't confide in your mom, but the way she words it, maybe it's just weird. Oh, yeah. I totally see petechial hemorrhaging. I don't know about you guys. I don't think so, Toaster Ghost, because Jan even included in her declaration the setup. In my opinion, she was setting the stage as far as, I saw Laura sometimes with dots around her eyes. And then Laura comes in with her declaration after saying, because of the strangulation, I had dots around my eyes. And my mom even asked, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it seems very intentional. That's what it seems like, Rose. All right, Exhibit 5. Same thing. Oh. This reminds me of the demon I would see when I had sleep paralysis at 4. I need to know what's in the background of that, because the only thing I can make out, is that a shower? Is that what is this? Is this one of the things where you have to stare at the center for 30 seconds and then stare at the wall and blink a bunch of times to see the image? I'm pretty sure it is. Is Jesus going to appear on my wall if I stare long enough? Hi, Cassus. Cassus Thesaurus. I'm trying, guy. I'm trying. No, this really looks like my paralysis demon. I'm really not going to lie. I could see 2 black eyes for sure. Petechial hemorrhage my butt. I think she looks way better this way. I don't know. Is that a doorknob? My doorknobs don't look like that, but maybe rich vegetable casita doorknobs look like that. Exhibit 5, photo of redness around Laura's eyes and cheeks. Photo taken May 2017. Okay. Let's see. What's Exhibit 6? Exhibit 6, where are you? Okay. On or around November 28th, 2017, Michael sent me a text message saying that he saw me and my family at Mama No Go. See Exhibit 6, text messages between me and Michael dated 11/28/2017. I sent him a text message to ask him where he was at the restaurant. He responded, I was at the corner in the bar. I saw you all while you were walking out and we were just being served. What did you think of it? It made me very uneasy that he happened to be at the same restaurant I was at, which was within 2 blocks of my apartment, and that he saw me there and said nothing at the time. Maybe he didn't want to get up and leave his dinner table to say hello to you. That would have been freaky. I don't know. Thank you, Harper's Nana. Who in their right mind would stay for this abuse and beg for him to stay? My bad. We are talking about Laura. We for sure are. Hey, Jade. Hi, Mary Smith. Again, I know victims of abuse it takes a few attempts a lot of times to actually leave. I just do not believe Laura's version of the story, nor do the messages that we can see reflect that any type of abuse was occurring aside from Laura abusing Michael. Oh, wow. She goes to trial in July, Solo Angel Mom. If it doesn't get pushed back again. So, here is Mike and Laura's messages. Mike's last message before this said, in your building or another. Then Tuesday, November 28th, 6:37 a.m. I saw you and your family at that Mama Sushi spot last night. Did you like it? Laura, yeah. Where were you? I was at the bar in the corner. I saw you all when you were walking out and we were just being served. What did you think of it? I loved it. What about you? Sorry, this page has petechial hemorrhage all over it. You see all this shit? It's not as good as Sushi Ran, but I liked it better than anything else in the marina. Since you all didn't look around, we will never know. That's the second time in like 3 months that I've seen you all, but you walk right past. So you didn't seem disturbed at the time, Laura. I loved it. What about you? Like, it just seemed like two former, like you were formally dating, trying to keep some type of friendship. Hey, I saw you last night. I was at the same place. How was it? It was good. How was it for you? You don't seem concerned. Okay, let's see. Exhibit 7. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Okay. On January 6, 2018, I decided to contact Callie Suspinkus via Facebook Messenger, the woman that Michael had introduced me to. So Michael's current girlfriend at the time. See Exhibit 7, the Facebook Messenger message sent January 6, 2018. I sent her a message telling her that, quote, I would have given anything for someone to reach out to me before I got deeply involved with him. I told her about the red flags that I should have paid closer attention to, such as Michael's lies about his career and prior romantic endeavors. I wrote that he became basically physically abusive about 6 months into our relationship, and I simply don't want someone else to be hurt by him. I told her about and attached a picture of the note from the WOW Airlines passenger. I also wrote, regardless of if you do anything with the information I shared with you, I would beg you not to share it with Mike or bring up my name, as he truly has scared me at this point. Scared you so much that you took it upon yourself to reach out to his current girlfriend after he already moved on. Okay. So Callie Suspinkus, you had 5 mutual friends, including Chris Reed and Adam Shane, lives in San Francisco, California, and you added Callie on January 6, 2018. So you write, hi, Callie. Ever since I saw you with Mike, I have really struggled a lot with whether or not to reach out to you. I have no idea what your relationship status is with him, but I saw him with you last night while I was having dinner at Mama Noko with a friend, and I figured you were probably still seeing him. Not one part of me is sure if I'm doing the right thing by sending you this, but I would have given anything for someone to reach out to me before I got deeply involved with him. I'm sure he has told you horror stories about me, just like he shared with me about his exes. He came on like Prince Charming, and I was crazy about him. But over time, I started to realize he wasn't the guy I thought he was. He told my family elaborate stories about his life, like how he had dated one of the female stars from Modern Family, but didn't remember which one that he had dated. Aaron Rodgers' sister, who I Googled and does not exist, and how he had been the VP at a multiple Fortune 500 companies. I'm attaching the radio tryout tape of him saying that. Go to 2 minutes, 30 seconds. He also told me when we started to date that he loved dogs more than anything. But when I rescued a physically impaired senior dog from Muttville, he told me he thought my dog was gross and ugly and refused to touch him, and repeatedly said he didn't want to punt him every time he came to his feet. I definitely shouldn't have stayed after all of this, but I couldn't come to terms with the fact that this was truly him. However, his words aren't what compelled me to write you. That seems like she missed a chunk, doesn't that? Let's pause for a second. That did not transition well, and that truly seems like she just skipped over something and left context out. However, his words aren't what compelled me to write to you. It was that he became physically abusive about 6 months into our relationship, and I simply don't want someone else to be hurt by him. When he and I were on a plane to Iceland and he got up to use the restroom, the lady in the seat in front of me slipped me a note on a napkin about the way he was treating me, and it truly stunned me. I'm attaching it. At first, I thought it was bizarre of her to give it, but it turned out to be life-changing for me. It opened my eyes to his bullying, manipulation, and outright cruelness, and her warning to me is exactly why I wanted to pass on to you. You certainly don't have to do anything with this information, but I wish I had taken her words to heart earlier, because things definitely didn't improve as time went on. I reached out to her a couple of months ago after we broke up, and she said that the way he acted towards me on the plane has haunted her since she saw it. Pause. That's another lie you guys put in your declaration. It was your mom who reached out. That's what you said. It was Jan who reached out, and you guys provided messages and emails from Jan. Now it's you reached out and you already spoke to her. I thought it was only Jan reached out as you were moving forward in court with Michael, but you had already reached out prior. Okay. It was way worse behind the scenes. Regardless of if you do anything with the information I shared with you, I would beg you not to share it with Mike or bring up my name, as he truly scares me at this point. I pray that he has not been abusive with you and never is. If someone sent this to me when we were first dating, I would definitely think they were nuts. But a few months into it, I would have wished I'd taken her advice to heart. I know you don't know me at all, but I hope that the attachments can be proved to you that I'm not coming up with this. I never ever want to speak to or see the man again, let alone get back with him. So getting back with him is most certainly not my intention. I just want to try to help someone else from getting hurt. And if you want to talk to me, I'm happy to grab coffee and chat. Regardless, I wish you all the best. And she sends this cocktail napkin. Okay. And then she sends the Google Drive, Mike Laura sample MP3. God, she's been doing this. It's interesting to see like that she's always had the same MO and she's always got it. And like, listen, I am all about girls looking out for girls. I love that. I'm not going to say, hey, it's absolutely bizarre. If the circumstances were true, if it truly was an abusive situation that you escaped and you truly were concerned and you really just wanted to give someone a heads up. Okay. But come on. That's not the circumstances here from what we know to be true. This was just Laura, in my opinion, trying to sabotage. Hold on one second, guys. So she sends the Google Drive. Oh, we have a response. Okay. Callie Suspinkus accepted your request. January 7th, 9:15 a.m. So a whole day later, let me see, hold on. Yeah, a whole day later, pretty much. A little less than half. Okay. Hi, Laura. Thanks for your email, and thank you for sharing your experience with me. I'll definitely take this into consideration and appreciate you reaching out. Short and sweet. Short and sweet. Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Wish you well, Callie. Oh, but you think Laura just left it there? Do you think Laura just left it there?
No.
Yes.
No, sir. I mean, John, no.
And this is where, this is where her true intentions are really going to come into play and really shine through. But hold on, I got to pull this up because I can't have this showing. So it says, sure, feel free to reach out to me at Nobody Gives a Shit. If you have any question, there were two other things I wanted to add. Of course. So you couldn't just leave it where it was at. Okay. You had to come in. And you know what? Now that I've had 12 hours to think on it, there's a two teeny itty bitty things I needed to add now that you've actually answered me. Okay. So she gives her number. And there are two other things I wanted to add. First of all, the physical abuse got to the point where in the last month in our relationship, he tried to suffocate me with a pillow on 3 occasions and almost succeeded the second time. Pause. Girl, Oh, thanks, Jack. This day in Disney history, WDW opened Space Mountain, and Walt Disney decides to go ahead and have Tomorrowland built at Disneyland in California. You're welcome for facts you didn't need. Thank you, Jack. I love Space Mountain. I love anything space related, but Space Mountain was definitely one of my top 3 rides when I went to Disney a few years ago, just because it's space related and I love space. But thank you so much. The more you know. So Laura couldn't stop there. Laura has to turn around and, like, you know what? Just to reiterate how abusive this got, he took a bed accessory and tried to unalive me 3 times and nearly succeeded. I think she got the message, Laura. That's a great question here for Dats. How did Laura get this new girl's information? How do you think, right? All Mike did was say, hey, this is Callie. Now, we do see that they had a couple of mutual friends, so she may have already kind of knew who she was through mutual friends. I don't know, but she took it upon herself to find her. If she wanted, you already left that long message, you left a Google Drive link, and you left screenshot attachments. If she was interested and wanted to know further details, she would have reached out. It wasn't really necessary to then let me add all of these details. So she says there were 2 other things I wanted to add. First of all, the physical abuse got to the point where in the last month in our relationship, he tried to suffocate me with a pillow on 3 occasions and almost succeeded the second time. It completely traumatized me. Finally, I spent more. Oh, it's cut off. Oh, no, hold on. Oh, cheese and rice. Hold on. Your exhibits suck, Laura. Get it together. Okay. It completely traumatized me. Finally, I spent more than $30,000 on him in 2017 after he lost his job, between paying his rent, sponsoring his family, which they asked me to do after his stepfather passed away, taking him out to eat every night, and taking him on trips. He never picked up a check after the initial period we were dating. Definitely my fault for allowing him to manipulate me this way, but I hope he doesn't do this to you. I'm sure that this was way more info than you wanted, but I truly felt the need to protect someone else from what I went through. My family knew about the physical abuse and always got a creepy, phony vibe from him. My dad said he's sure he's going to end up being the star of a Dateline episode at some point in his lifetime. Okay, that's all I wish. And I wish you nothing but, that's all. And I wish you nothing but the best. Okay. Do you see the problem here? Well, there's numerous issues here. You went from, I have genuine concern, female to female. And I want to do the right thing by giving you the heads up. And that transitioned quickly into pettiness. What is the point of saying how much money you spent on him when we all have seen you shoving it down his throat? Listen, I'm sure it was great and lovely. I'm not going to deny that it was probably great and lovely for him, but he expressed numerous times it's not about that. He didn't ask for it. And we've seen him deny things throughout those messages too. And we only saw a portion of them. Hi, Steph. Hi, Les Lemons. It just screams that what her true intentions are. And I'm not surprised after she did this, Mike and his sister, when they saw her in the street, were screaming at her. Because why are you trying to sabotage this man? You couldn't even just let him go and move on with your life. Yeah, a girl's girl would only worry about the safety. And you already sent that long message, Google Drive link, and attachments. If she wanted to talk, if she wanted to know more, she would have reached out and asked. She did respond to you. She acknowledged it, said thank you. But you couldn't just leave it there. You had to go in to sexual abuse, bed accessories, and then the money. Do you think she stopped there? Let's see. Oh, no, she didn't. Then she didn't get a response. So what does she do? Hours later, she sends another message. Let's read it, shall we? I really wish you hadn't told him, as I just ran into him and his sister on the street, and they went absolutely ballistic on me. Pause. I'm sorry. I just find it rather suspicious that you're telling me hours later after you send that message, like you happen to run into him on the street, him and his sister. What is this, an everyday thing? Because you had just run into him 2 nights before. You know what I mean? Which prompted your message to Callie. That's strange. Like how often were you running into him? That doesn't make sense. I really wish you hadn't told him, as I just ran into him and his sister on the street, and they went absolutely ballistic on me. I'll stay out of this. Everything I said to you is true, and the fact that he is denying everything when I have so much evidence on him, it's insane. I've never reached out to anyone my ex was dating and truly was trying to do what I thought was the right thing. But I guess it wasn't. I'm getting a restraining order against him first thing in the morning. Best of luck to you. And I'm sorry to have... I'm getting a restraining order against him first thing in the morning. Best of luck to you. And again, I'm sorry to have intervened. I clearly didn't do the right thing, but my heart was definitely in the right place. Was it though?
Any objection?
All objections.
Hello, Yaku. Okay. Oh, and that's where it ends. Holy moly. Those are... Okay. You guys. Those were her exhibits to prove she needs a restraining order. Let that sink in. Those are all you had in support of a restraining order to protect your safety, your family safety, your dog's safety. No messages between you and Michael referring to the abuse? Of him not denying it? Not a single message? Michael, you really scared me last night. What you did with the pillow, what you did with your hands, and him saying, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. Nothing out of all the... You said it was like 48 times. Because you kept going back for more, right? And not once, not one message were you able to produce as evidence in support of your allegations. Let's see oh no, shit. Poop. Okay, let's see what came after this, because I really don't understand how this got granted. Okay. So Laura files a motion in limine after this and a request to strike. So let's see. Petitioner's motion in limine and request to strike April 13th, 2018. Time 1:30 a.m. Girl, what you doing? 1:30 a.m. And she was still pro se. Attorney for petitioner, Laura. Okay. Introduction. Petitioner Laura Owens through counsel. Excuse me? Oh, did she have? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, it's Alicia. So now she has counsel. Okay. So petitioner Laura Owens through counsel respectfully submits this motion in limine to exclude from evidence at trial those portions of the following pleadings that are inadmissible. Respondents, which is Michael's response to requests for domestic violence restraining order filed January 22nd, 2018. Declaration of witness Stephanie Maricini in support of Michael's filed March 28th, 2018, and the declaration of witness Colin Scanlon in support of Michael filed March 28th, 2018. These declarations contain allegations that are inadmissible character evidence, irrelevant, more prejudicial than probative, based on hearsay, lack foundation, or are speculative and not based on personal knowledge. I'm sorry, what? You want Mike's own words, his version, his story, his truth, his sisters, and his sister's boyfriend, all declarations to be thrown out, and Laura and Jan and LeFleur to get let in? Are you wow, airline's cocktail napkin gets in, but Michael himself doesn't? Are you kidding me? Wow. As set forth below, the inadmissible portions of these declarations are denoted in quotations, where only a portion of the complete quote text is admissible. The inadmissible portion is denoted in strike-through text. Petitioner's objections follow in bold type. So, statement of facts. January 9th, 2018, Laura, then a self-represented litigant, filed a request for a domestic violence restraining order. January 22nd, Michael filed a response to the request for the domestic violence restraining order, hereinafter respondent's request, respondent's response. March 28th, Michael filed a declaration of witness Stephanie, his sister, in support of his declaration, and a declaration of witness Colin Scanlon in support of Michael's hereinafter Colin Scanlon declaration. March 29th, Laura filed a supplemental declaration, a declaration of Elizabeth Jan Owens in support of Laura's request for the restraining order, declaration of Karen Mbega in support of Laura's request for the restraining order, and a declaration of Joan O'Neill in support of Laura's request for a restraining order. What happened to Karen? I thought there was a Karen. Probably was. So, objections to Michael's response to the request for the restraining order. Laura hereby objects to those portions of Michael's response set forth below. Based on any or all of said objections, Laura respectfully requests that the court exclude from evidence the inadmissible portion of Michael's declaration, including any and all attachments thereto. So page 5, item 25, paragraph 1, quote, the allegations she has made are total fabrication from a young woman who has threatened schmuicide multiple times, been hospitalized for depression, and been on anxiety depression medications. Objection lacks relevance. Oh, really? Okay. Objection. Any probative value is substantially outweighed by the likelihood that admission will create a substantial danger of undue prejudice. You think the judge is going to have undue prejudice knowing Laura was hospitalized for 12 hours? Okay. Objection. Lacks foundation as to Michael's qualifications to render the opinion that Laura was hospitalized for depression and has been on medication for anxiety and depression. Objection. This testimony is speculative and lacks personal knowledge. Objection. Inadmissible character evidence. It continues to say, page 5, item 25, paragraph 1, quote, as shows in attachment 1, text messages between Jan Black, Laura's mother, and myself, Laura has suffered from emotional issues that necessitated her placement in an inpatient facility, followed by outpatient treatment and multiple medications. Attachment 2, it says text messages between Ron Owens, Laura's father, and myself. He also acknowledges Laura's mental and emotional instability. Mr. Owens, in a text message dated December 2016, told me, please call Laura and promise her anything. She wants to keep her alive, and I promise to help you get out of it as soon as she's safe. Please, now. Objection. Lacks relevance. Objection. Any probative value is substantially outweighed by the likelihood that admission will create substantial danger and undue prejudice. Lacks foundation as to Mike's qualifications to render that opinion that Laura suffered emotional issues that necessitated her placement in an outpatient facility. Testimony is speculative and lacks personal knowledge. Hearsay. Next one is, additionally, the text from Laura to my sister in December 2016 show Laura as a person consumed with her love for me and her desire to make our relationship work. Objections are lacks relevance, creates substantial danger or undue prejudice, hearsay, inadmissible character evidence. Next one. Since before we dated, Laura has taken multiple medications to help with depression and anxiety. The texts in all of the attachments confirm this. Towards the end of our relationship, Laura told me she would take horse tranquilizers to calm her down. Pause. Hold on. Thank you, Samantha. That's so generous. Welcome to all of our new members. Please make sure you thank Samantha if you were lucky enough to get gifted a membership. So nice of you, Samantha. You have no idea the snark I built up, Neat Stoodle says. It's bad. It's bad. Okay. So lacks relevance, substantial danger, undue prejudice, lacks qualifications, speculative, lacks personal knowledge, and inadmissible character evidence. So it's all repeated objections. So I'm just kind of shortening it. Number 5, the attachment where it has text between Laura's mother and Michael. The entirety of respondent's attachment 1 is inadmissible and should be stricken based on the following objections. Lacks relevance, probative value that will create substantial danger of undue prejudice, hearsay, and lacks proper authentication. Hi, so there's that. What you making for dinner? I made burgers, coleslaw, French fries, and that's it. And I have like the other half sitting out for after the live so I could finish it. There's nothing better than like having half and then saving the other half for later. Oh, we kind of had the same theme going on. How is it? I haven't had a sloppy joe since I was a little lass. I don't even know how to make a sloppy joe anymore. I've only ever consumed a joe sloppy. I've never made a joe sloppy. Delicious FOS, except I don't eat fish, but I'm sure it's delicious. Hi, IB. What's a Juicy Lucy? That sounds kinky. I know I haven't had it since I was a kid, Harlot. What's a Juicy Lucy, though? I know a Sloppy Joe, but I've never heard of a Juicy Lucy. I need to know, Samantha. Make it extra sloppy for ya. Billy Madison. All right, let's see. So all of the messages between Mike and Laura's dad should be stricken. All texts between Laura and Mike's sister, the entirety of respondent's attachment is inadmissible and should be stricken. Lacks relevance, creates substantial danger of undue prejudice. Hearsay, lacks proper authentication. So, objections to the declaration of witness Stephanie Maricini. I don't remember that. Chick-fil-A is doing the thing now if you could get the golden cup, which, come on, it's easier to get the golden glitch, like the, what is it from Harry Potter? The golden snitch. That's what it is. You get a year free of Chick-fil-A. It's a burger with the cheese cooked in the middle of the meat. It's super kinky. That is my type of thing. You know what, Samantha? That is my type of thing. Anything with cheese is my type of thing, number one. But that just sounds sufficient because I cannot stand when all of my cheese disappears. Like, as it melts off. So that just sounds fabulous. I want a Lucy Goosey, what is it? A Juicy Lucy? A Lucy Juicy? I want it. And I want it now. A Krispy Kreme donut. No, but my mom did make us, back when Krispy Kreme was a thing in middle school, you'd take 2 original Krispy Kreme donuts, put it on the barbecue real quick on both sides, and then put a scoop of vanilla ice cream between the 2 and make like a Krispy Kreme crunchy ice cream sandwich. Hello, Laura Owens. A Juicy Lucy. Oh, you go, girl, Amber. Yum. I'll take a Juicy Lucy. I'll take a Juicy Lucy. I've seen that, yeah. We always do, Samantha. We're a bunch of hungry little lasses and lads in here. Okay, so the objections to Michael's sister. Laura hereby objects to those portions of Stephanie's declaration set forth below. Based on any or all of said objections, Laura respectfully requests that the court exclude from evidence the inadmissible portions of Stephanie's declaration. Page 2, lines 3 to 4. I advised Miss Owens in my text messages that she should not push my brother and instead should back off and enjoy the relationship. Objection, lacks evidence and hearsay and relevance. Page 2, lines 9 through 10. Quote, I witnessed her manic behavior over dinner. Once she yelled at him and then took an Ambien pill to calm down. Objection, lacks relevance, can create substantial danger of undue prejudice, lacks foundation as to Stephanie's qualifications to render the opinion that Laura exhibited manic behavior, and this testimony is speculative and lacks personal knowledge. Page 2, lines 21-22, Laura was very upset about Michael dating another girl. Objection, speculative. Page 2, lines 23-24, instead, we told her we wanted her to leave us alone and that she needed help. Objection, lacks relevance, hearsay. Page 2, line 24. After that encounter, my brother filed a police report with the San Francisco Police Department. Objection, speculative and lacks personal knowledge. Oh, that's a stretch, ma'am, because you know that police report would have been included. That's a stretch. Stretches more than that cheese in the middle of a loosey-goosey. Any objections? All objections. They are really using that. All objections.
Any objection? All objections.
Page 2. In November 2016, Michael called me distraught at how Laura lied to him about getting an abortion and that he needed someone to come over to Laura's as he needed a witness. I asked my boyfriend Colin to walk over to listen as Laura had called her father to come to her apartment. Colin heard Laura admit to lying about the abortion. She justified her behavior by saying she didn't want to lose Michael. Laura's father, Ron, told Michael that he needed to end the relationship. Ron told Michael that Laura makes up stories in her head and then believes them. Colin witnessed this meeting and heard this conversation. Objection lacks relevance. Substantial danger of undue prejudice. Testimony is speculative and lacks personal knowledge, inadmissible character evidence, and hearsay. Objections to the declaration of witness Colin, which is Michael's sister's boyfriend at the time. Page 1. I specifically remember being called by Michael to come to Laura's apartment in December 2016 for a meeting with Laura and her father to discuss Laura's desire to continue the relationship with Michael. Laura had been claiming that she was pregnant and had been threatening Mike with not having an abortion if he ceased dating her. Additionally, Laura had been indicating to Mike that she was contemplating schmurschmide at the thought of their relationship ending. Objection lacks relevance, probative value. This testimony is speculative and lacks personal knowledge and hearsay. Page 2. During the meeting, which her father, Ron Owens, steered, Mr. Owens told Michael that his daughter had a tendency to exaggerate or even flat out make things up. Laura was complaining of depression and schmurschmuddle thoughts at the fear of her relationship with Michael ending and was very distraught. Objection, hearsay. Page 2. Mr. Owens was very thankful as he, Michael, and myself left the apartment. Mr. Owens advised Michael in the elevator out of the way of the building that he appreciated Michael agreeing not to end the relationship outright and to see how it goes, and then advised him to go out in a few weeks when his daughter had a chance to calm down and get a handle on her depression. Objection, relevance, probative value, hearsay. Based on the foregoing, Laura respectfully requests that the court exclude from evidence those portions of respondent's response to requests for domestic violence restraining order, the declaration of witness Stephanie Maricini in support of respondent, and the declaration of witness Colin Scanlon in support of respondent, to which Laura has interposed objections. Okay. So what do we have? Hearing date. Okay. Responsive declaration to request for order. So, declaration of counsel in objection to request to set the new hearing date. So, Tara, Berta, this is the agency representing Laura with her request for a restraining order against Michael. January 26, 2018, this court set a hearing date for Laura's request for a restraining order. On that date, the court ordered witness declarations. On behalf of Laura, CROC filed and served a supplemental declaration of Laura and declarations of Joan O'Neill, Karen Mbega, and Jan Owens, all of whom are to be called as witnesses for Laura. The witnesses for Laura are prepared to appear in person or by phone. Laura does not want to continue the hearing. She is anxious to have this matter resolved as soon as possible, and she and her witnesses have planned their schedules in anticipation of the hearing proceeding. If the court does grant a continuance of the hearing set for April 13th, petitioner requests that the court order the matter be set as early as possible. New hearing date accommodate the parties and witnesses. If petitioner's witnesses are not able to appear in person, they be allowed by the phone and discovery be reopened. Request for an ex parte order. So the court finds good cause to grant Michael's response for a continuance. Witnesses may not appear by phone unless there is a stipulation of the parties. TRO. TRO. I can't read what that says. Reissued. That sucks. So this is domestic violence order. Other orders requested to continue trial date. Okay. So the declaration of counsel from Michael's attorney, which I'm very interested to read this. Okay. So respondent was originally timely served with Laura's DV 109, 110, 100, 101, and attachments. A court order granting a temporary restraining order was granted in part on January 10, 2018. A hearing was set for the 26th. Both parties and witnesses for Michael appeared on that date, but the court did not have time to hear the matter. Because of conflicts with declarations scheduled on Friday and the schedule of witnesses, the trial was set for April 13th at 1:30. The court specifically ordered that declarations of the witnesses, Joan O'Neill and Karen Umberger for Laura, and Colin Scanlon and Stephanie Maricini would be filed on March 29th. These declarations would constitute the witness declarations. March 29th, declarant received a 33-page declaration signed by Laura, which consisted of a 16-page declaration and the submission of 6 exhibits of text messages and photos. In addition to the anticipated declaration of witnesses O'Neill and Umberger, there was an additional declaration by petitioner's mother, Jan Owens. The new declaration submitted by Laura alleges new allegations of abuse that had not been in her original petition. Declarant called counsel for Laura and stated that she would need additional time to respond to this new petition. While counsel for Laura was willing to extend the date for Michael to file a supplemental declaration until the week of April 2nd, declarant advised her that she would need to continue the trial date. Declarant was prepared to defend the original allegations with the original 2 named witnesses, but at this time, declarant is unable to prepare to defend this new petition and the lengthy declarations by petitioner's newest witness as well as the other 2 witnesses. Declarant has advised counsel for Laura that she begins a 4-week federal criminal tax evasion trial on May 4th, 2018. The trial is proceeding 4 days a week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The declarant must spend all of her time preparing to cross-examine of government witnesses and direct examination of defense witnesses. Next week, the declarant's client's brother, a key witness, is flying in from China, and declarant must prepare questions for her client and the brother. The discovery in this case is tens of thousands of documents. Declarant has filing deadlines for next week that take priority over her other cases. Counsel for petitioner attempted to find a date that this matter could be continued to. However, the parties could not agree on a date. Declarant is available in June, July, and August. Under California Family Code, Section 245, either party may request a continuance of the hearing, which the court shall grant on a showing of good cause. The declarant needs additional time to respond to Laura's new petition. It is impossible for her to do so with her pending federal trial in which her client is facing over 5 years in federal prison. Declarant owes Michael effective assistance of counsel. To force declarant to defend these new allegations without sufficient time to prepare will result in ineffective assistance of counsel. Respondent Michael is prepared to agree to the temporary restraining order to remain in effect. If this court is not inclined to grant this continuance, then declarant will move to withdraw and refer respondent to another counsel, which will also presumably need a continuance. Declare under penalty of perjury the above is true and correct to the best of my knowledge. So what happened? What a mess. So this is the request to renew the restraining order. Please see attached declaration. Oh my gosh. I, Laura Owens, declare as follows. I make all the statements herein of my own personal knowledge, except as to those matters stated on for information and belief. As to those matters, I believe them to be true, and if called as a witness, could and would testify competently thereto. So request to permanently renew the 2018 restraining order after the hearing. In 2018, Michael and I stipulated to the court's issuance of a 2-year. Did they really? Like, wait a second. How did we do this jump? I need to know. This is the part I've been waiting for to understand, is how he ever had a restraining order issued past the temporary one. And they stipulated. Michael and I stipulated to the court's issuance of a 2-year klutz restraining order after a hearing which expires at noon on July 10th, 2020. Based on Michael's violations of that order and my ongoing fear, due both to his violations and to the severe violence that led to the restraining order, I am requesting a permanent renewal of that order. Brief summary of incidents leading to the 2018 restraining order after hearing. As I detailed for the court in my March 29, 2018 supplemental declaration in support of my restraining order request, Michael was brutally violent to me during our relationship. In addition to his frequent verbal berating of me, so severe that a complete stranger slipped me a note when Michael went to the bathroom during our December 30th, 2016 international flight to Iceland, telling me to run from Michael and get help and protection. She later submitted a declaration and agreed to testify at the hearing in support of my restraining order request. He slapped me and strangled me during sex on multiple occasions, despite my telling him not to do so and him promising never to do it again, and smothered me into unconsciousness. Here it is. It was agreed upon. His lawyer told him it would probably be granted and he couldn't afford to continue with paying. That's really sad. That's really sad. Wow. As detailed in my March 29, 2018 declaration, on one occasion in mid-February 2017, Michael held me down so hard while we had sex that it left me with bruises for several days and then strangled me. When I gasped for air, he shoved two of his fingers down my throat and called me a good girl when I gagged. I attached photographs to my declaration showing the court the petechial hemorrhaging around my bloodshot eyes, which became common due to him strangling me. When he smothered me with a pillow while having sex with me around late March 2017, I thought I was going to die, and he told me it was the best sex he ever had and that he liked controlling my access to air. Several times during our relationship, he demanded oral sex and held the back of my head so that I couldn't move it, while thrusting his penis so far down my throat, I threw up. Okay. Whew. Around June 2017, I lost consciousness when he smothered me with a pillow while having sex with me. When I came to, he flipped me onto my stomach and then demanded I get on my knees, and he ejaculated into my mouth. He later told me what he had done was my fault because I brought that out of him. I felt completely broken as a human being, and I hated myself for being with someone who did this to me. After that June 27 incident, I started avoiding Michael and spending less time with him, hoping that would lead to a neutral end to our relationship. Instead, he began stalking me. He began showing up at places he knew I frequented. He started coming to my house unannounced, even when I specifically told him not to, or when I ignored his calls or texts. I detailed these incidents in my declaration as well, including the night in November 2017 when he asked if he could come over and showed up anyway after I told him no. He banged on my door and yelled my name until I let him in because I was worried he would upset my neighbors. He then began having sex with me, and I was too afraid of him to stop him. While having sex with me, he told me about another woman he was sleeping with. When I told him I didn't care, he told me it would be a turn on for him to make me jealous. And then he held me down with his left hand and strangled me with his right hand. This was the last time he had sex with me. He continued to stalk me. On or around November 8th, 2017, he texted me that he had been at a bar in the corner of a restaurant watching me and my family have dinner there. Even though he did not live in my neighborhood and told me he was moving to Sacramento, I saw him at least 10 times within a 2-block radius of my apartment between December 2017 and the end of January 2018, which I detailed in my declaration. I had been going to Barry's boot camp gym around the corner of my house daily since before I started dating Michael Maricini. Throughout our relationship, he made fun of me for going. In December 2017, Michael joined that gym, even though he did not live in the neighborhood. I finally filed a request for a restraining order after an incident on January 8th, 2018, while I was walking home from having dinner and encountered Michael and his sister less than 1.5 blocks from my home. They stood in front of me, which prevented me from walking past them, and screamed at me. When I pulled out my phone to call my parents, his sister yelled at me, "Don't you dare get your phone." Michael violated the temporary restraining order, which I detailed in my March 29, 2018 declaration. For example, January 28th, he posted on Instagram that he was at De La Rosa, across the street from my house. He also went to Barry's boot camp around the corner from my house on at least 2 separate occasions while the TRO was in effect. In July 2018, Michael and I stipulated to the court's issuance of a 2-year Klutz restraining order after hearing. I have to pause for a second. I don't even see. Oh, stop it. Are you serious, Samantha? Wow. I don't even see my neighbors that much. Like 18 times essentially within a 1-month period. If I don't even see my neighbors going in and out of my house every day, how is it that he was in a 2-block radius of you and your home? That, like, I really struggle with that. Hearsay, Toaster Ghost. Hearsay. So then it says, incidents since the 2018 restraining order after hearing. Yeah, I'd like to hear these because she got this granted. So I want to hear it. One of the restraining order terms to which Michael agreed was the standard 100-yard stay away order, prohibiting him from coming within 100 yards of me, my home, my workplace, and my vehicle. I understood that part of the reason he was willing to agree to this restraint was because he was moving to San Carlos in San Mateo County on August 1st, 2018. It gave me more peace of mind to know that he would be living more than 25 miles away from me. I was reassured by his move and by the restraining order that he would not be in my neighborhood and would not be anywhere near my home. On July 16, 2018, less than 1 week after issuance of the restraining order after hearing, my parents told me that they had seen Michael Maricini in my neighborhood. Through my lawyer, I communicated with Michael's lawyer that Michael was violating our agreement and the order. On information and belief, his attorney said that Michael had been buying a bed nearby. On 3 different occasions in 2018, after the restraining order was in place, our mutual friend Joan told me that she saw Michael around my neighborhood. He's allowed to be around the neighborhood. Are you kidding me? Oh, thank you, KPFA. Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, talk about hearsay, right? All of that's allowed in, though. Mom told me. Bullshit. Your mom's a liar. 2 of my friends from the Barry's boot camp gym who knew about Michael and knew I had a restraining order in place told me that on 2 separate occasions in late summer or early fall 2018, Michael had come to Barry's boot camp gym, the same one Michael knew I went to daily before and during our relationship. They expressed concern for me and surprise at having him see there. Guess what? He's allowed to even go there, but if you're there, he's got to leave. You see how that works? You don't just get to own your town. One day, around the beginning of April 2019, some friends from the same Barry's boot camp gym, where I have taken over 980 classes, told me that Michael had again come into the gym. They said he didn't work out, but just came and got a shake at the fuel bar, a refreshment counter. Someone sent me a screenshot of Michael's Instagram post from April 5th, 2019. Oh, bitch, that's you. Sorry. Let me calm down. let me calm down. You went to his social media and you're looking where he is on certain days. Do you see that? So someone sent me a screenshot of Michael's Instagram post from April 5th, 2019, showing he was outside my gym. It's not your gym. A copy of which I am attaching to this declaration. The gym is approximately 300 yards from my home, around the corner from me. When I realized, wasn't the order 100 yards? Yes. When I realized this is farther than 100 yards away from my home, I can think of no reason for Michael to be at that particular gym around the corner from my house that he knows I go to regularly, other than to be near me and my home. You just said all of that is mute because it's over 100 yards away. What do you mean, Steph? I must have missed something. I'm probably just missing something. So the gym is approximately 300 yards from my home and around the corner from me. When I realize this is farther than 100 yards from my home, I can think of no reason for Michael to be at that particular gym around the corner from my house that he knows I go to regularly, other than to be near me and my home. He represented that he was moving more than 25 miles from my home. He made fun of me throughout our relationship for going to that gym, and he did not even work out when he went into the gym on that day in April 2019. Here, say, Laura. One day during the summer of 2019, my mom told me that she saw Michael at a restaurant about 1 block from my house. Here, say, Laura. Another time in late 2019, my mom told me that she saw him getting into his car a couple of blocks from my house while she was driving to pick me up. Here, say, Laura. In mid-January 2020, I saw Michael at the restaurant De La Rosa, which is across the street from my home, well within 100 yards from my home. When I saw him near my home, I panicked. I felt paralyzed, and I didn't know where to run or what to do. I was afraid of whether he would approach me, harm me, or make a scene. I was flooded with horrible memories, and I felt back to square one, fearing for my life. One day in early May 2020, while both San Mateo and San Francisco counties were under strict shelter-in-place orders due to COVID-19, I was walking to the pharmacy on Chestnut Street near my home when I saw Michael right across the street from my house, standing in line for takeout at De La Rosa. He was wearing the green Patagonia jacket I gave him, and he is very tall and has a very distinctive look. So I was certain it was him. I was with my mom, who he knows, and I saw him turn towards us, and I believe he saw us. When I saw him, I was very scared. I began to have a panic attack. I said to my mom, "That's Mike. He's not supposed to be here." I understood that Michael lives in another county, so I was shocked to see him right outside my house for any reason, but especially when shelter in place orders were in effect. When I came out of the pharmacy, I saw that he had walked across my street and was walking with another man directly in front of my apartment. I yelled at his name to let him know that I knew he was violating the order. He did not turn around and he kept walking. I was terrified that he was not taking the order seriously. I felt threatened and unsafe. Michael's brutal and repeated violence against me during our relationship, and then his stalking of me when I tried to get out of the relationship, have caused me severe psychological distress. I have been diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Since he did all of these things to me, I struggle to have any intimate relationship. Bitch, wasn't this Greg Gillespie time now? I sleep on my couch to avoid being in my bed where he hurt me. Point to the doll and show us where he hurt you, Laura. I stopped going to my favorite restaurants out of fear that he might come there. I have frequent flashbacks of his hands around my neck, not being able to breathe or scream, and him violently graping me. Every time I leave my apartment, I look over my shoulder and I expect he will grab me or push me or strangle me. I never go anywhere alone at night. I have friends or family walk me all the way inside my building in case he's there waiting, like he was before. I carry pepper spray. I really never want to have to use it. I have a psychiatric service dog, and I live in fear each and every day. I can't even imagine what Michael would do to me if he caught me alone. I see a therapist regularly. I take medication for PTSD and depression. I have undergone extreme cutting-edge treatments for PTSD. In the last 2 years, I have spent approximately $75,000 of my own money on therapy, specialists, and treatment to try to heal from what Michael did to me so I can move on. My doctors have told me that the treatment has not worked sufficiently to address my PTSD. I request the court issue a permanent renewal of the restraining order. Without a restraining order, I would never feel safe again. I live with fear of Michael every day of my life. He may not look like the kind of person who would do dangerous, lethal things, but he repeatedly strangled and suffocated me to within seconds of my final breath. I have suffered from depression, anxiety, PTSD, and even after significant treatment, I am terrified every day because of what he did to me. I've spent 2 years trying to recover, but that has not been enough, and I am not healed. He has not stayed away from me, and I don't think he ever will leave me alone completely. The thought of not having any protection from him, the thought that he might be allowed to come near me is terrifying. I can't live with that kind of fear. I know the restraining order has angered him, and I am scared he harbors even more resentment towards me. I don't want to have to do anything. I don't want to have anything to do with him ever again. And then here is this Instagram post she screenshotted. Oh, I'm sorry. Friend screenshotted to prove he was at Barry's boot camp. Okay. Honestly, I feel so it sucks that his lawyer didn't advocate for him and defend him. And he couldn't afford, because it costs a lot of money. and you have to stipulate because that. And then this was renewed. This was granted for another 5 years. And it was only not last month, the month before, they went back to court. And Laura fucked that up. And finally it was dropped. It's terrifying that someone can lie like this. And for all we know, that attorney probably, again, you don't want to think someone's going to lie about such graphic, horrific things. You know, like, Michael really needs his justice. I'm so thankful they added charges related to Greg, but they really need to. Oh, I'm curious if the statute of limitations, I'd have to look into that actually. But Michael really needs his justice. I don't know, Kirsten. I have to look. I know she was trying to appeal it. There, you know what? Justified JS13. Everyone remembers the accusation. Nobody remembers the retraction, you know? So once your name has been smeared like that, and that's a TEDx talk that is still up, still generating views, and you expect every single person who watches that to do a dig and look in to see on their own that it's not legitimate. They don't do that. It's continuing to the reputational damage. They look that up. You trying to get a job, you trying to get an apartment, anything. They could pull that up and see that you have this horrific restraining order, klutz restraining order on you. I hope so, Fragile. Yeah, you can't unring that bell. You can't. The fact, I'm shocked that they haven't pulled that down yet. How couldn't they have pulled that down? Hasn't there been a petition? How couldn't they have pulled that down? They are for sure aware of it. She called CPS and said, oh, I'm so, like, we're almost, I think, like, we might be like one live away from going through the Megan Fox interviews, and I'm really excited. Let me see, actually. Let me go back. Because we made our way all the way down this timeline. Let me see how much there is left. Okay. We have the restraining order renewal hearing transcript. It's the restraining order that hearing that takes place. The judge rules in favor of Laura, granting her a 5-year restraining order against Michael. That's what we're going over next. And then we're going to be going into 2024 and 2025 once the JFC crew gets wind, I guess, of Michael's situation, and he gets incorporated in all of the future stuff. It was never her, since Laura's never had a job or credit. Laura was living in her sister. I've never seen a survivor of what she claims to have so much anger in that TED Talk. She came across as the aggressor. She is the aggressor. It helped Laura put up the TEDx talk or something. No one could get that person to get it taken down. Maybe I could. Oh, wow. I agree. I 100% agree. Oh, I totally forgot to, if you guys remember on Monday's live, I told you guys I was going to end the live out in a certain way, and I never did. And so I want you guys to watch it this time. Hold on. Anybody who's been following this Gypsy Rose stuff. Let me see. Okay. All right, guys. Hold on. All right. Hold on. All right. So we will continue and go through that transcript next. I appreciate all of you guys. I will be back on tomorrow after work. So I hope to see you guys all there. If you are the winner of Patreon, make sure you email me and I will send you a link. And I apologize in advance for what you're about to see.
I see my hopes and dreams lying on the ground. I see the sky just begin to fall. You see, all things pass into the night. And I said, oh no, sir, I'm a Sarah. I must disagree. Oh no, sir, I'm a Sarah. Won't you listen to me?